empoderada, tienes tu autoestima alta.
It's not an illusion, a dream. It's real life, right? What's up? How's everybody doing? This is Johnathan Silva. Come take a ride with me. You know, I want everybody to mainly get to know me. Who is Johnathan? Where is he from? I'm gonna take you guys exactly where I'm from, where it all started, and you know how we've devolved to the level that we are today. So let's go. Let's take a ride. So basically, right now I'm just gonna go ahead and drive to the neighborhood that I'm personally from, here in the Houston, Texas area, and you know, just so you guys can get a better understanding where I'm from, and you guys can relate a lot more to me, and more than anything, just show you the real life of it, right? The real life of the situation. Maybe you're from the same place where I'm from. Maybe you personally know me. Maybe you just see me on social media. You watch my videos, or whatever the case is. But more than anything, I wanna be able to show you and give you some value, create some content that will help you in any sort of way. Whether it'll make it click, it'll make you have a better understanding, it'll make you relatable, it'll make you more than anything, I want you to know that it's possible for you. If God did it for me, he can do it for you. So that's gonna be one of the main things that this content is being created. And you know, honestly, you know, I love Houston. You know, I've traveled all over the world. You know, I've seen different countries, different cities, and you know, I've seen some beautiful places. But I can honestly say there's nothing like being home. There's nothing like Houston, especially here in the Southeast where I grew up. And you know, I love my home. I love my city. I love where I'm from. And you know, I don't know if you guys can relate to that, or if you guys are looking to expand somewhere else. Yeah, so right here pulling up to Timmy Chan's, right here on 610 MLK. It's one of my favorite spots. As you can see, it's always a lot of people here, obviously because the food is pretty good. But if you guys haven't tried this spot, you guys definitely need to check it out. So this is my neighborhood, guys. As you guys can see, this is where I personally grew up. Right now the streets are really, really nice. When I used to be here, it was not like this, right? It was all bumpy roads. You can get flats all the time. It was a lot of holes, but obviously the city has came and they renewed the whole thing. So that's great. It's definitely not the best neighborhood in the world, or in the city. It's a pretty tough environment, right? Growing up, it was a lot of violence, a lot of drugs, a lot of gangs, right? A lot of just bad. It's just a really bad environment. This is personally where you know, I've been. I grew up my whole life. You know, I've been here. I used to walk the streets here. I'm gonna show you a little bit. I used to walk down that street, and I used to go to school all the time. Right now, they're remodeling a lot of houses around the area. Streets are getting better. The real estate is getting a little bit better. The crimes, I want to say, is still kind of the same. But overall, I just wanted to show you guys exactly where I come from. You know, how we've grown to the level that we are today. But most importantly, just to don't be ashamed where you're from, and it doesn't matter where you're from. What really matters is where you're going, right? It doesn't matter where you start. You can be in a worse environment than me, right? Or similar, or even better. But what matters is your mentality, all right? The exterior, what's happening in the outside, doesn't matter. What matters is what's in your mind, what's in your mind, what you believe about yourself, and what you believe that you're capable of. The reason why I say that is because I remember being here in this environment, and I remember thinking, it's like, man, one day I'm gonna be able to live in a certain area. One day I'm gonna be able to drive the cars that I want. One day my car's not gonna be breaking down. One day I'm not gonna be worried about money, right? So I still remember that, and I get chills because it was so real. I have to tell myself, Johnathan, you can win. Johnathan, you can grow. Johnathan, you can leave the gang life. Johnathan, you can have a business. You can do something bigger in life. It doesn't have to just be what you were raised in, or what you grew up in. And I believe one of the biggest things was believing that I could do it, believing that it was possible for me. So and answer some questions that I get a lot of those questions often. Maybe that can clear up a lot of doubts, or you guys have concerns about. There's a lot of struggles that I could talk about. As far as like seeing a lot of fights, seeing a lot of drug dealing, seeing people get shot, seeing people get killed, and so I believe that was a huge barrier, I would say, because since I grew up in that environment, that created that it was kind of normal. It was normal. It wasn't much of a big deal because I saw it often, so it didn't become like something like, wow, we shouldn't be doing that, or so I would say that was a big struggle, and then as well just being around the wrong people, right? Being around people who didn't know any better, people who bad influence, in every single aspect that you can think of. So I would say those were some of the biggest struggles. Just looking at all the things we looked at, growing up, being young, and then being around those people that made those things happen. I would say those were some of the biggest struggles we had. And besides, obviously there's a lot of struggles that I could talk about, but I would say those were some of the most impactful. And then just seeing my family, right? Seeing my family and my parents, just try to give us the best that they could. But as far as struggles, I would say that those would be one of the biggest paradigms that I had to break. I'm not gonna sugarcoat, and I'm not gonna say, wow, I changed overnight and it was all rainbows and butterflies. I'll be lying to you. Honestly, it was extremely hard. Leaving the violence, changing my mentality, being able to handle my emotions, not letting other people control me. Not necessarily control me, but when people trigger certain emotions, and if you don't know how to control them, you will automatically react with those emotions. So I guess just becoming more aware of that. One of the hardest things I would say is that I had to face was leaving the drugs. Right? It was just, I didn't know I was addicted to the drugs. An addict doesn't know they're an addict, and to a certain point. So I would say that was one of my biggest challenges. But when I overcame it, it was because I made a decision. It was because I made a decision that I was going to be better, that I was going to stop surrounding myself with certain people who didn't influence any better in my life. And honestly, I just started hanging around with a different type of people, right? People who were happy, people who were seeking God, people who were giving positive energy and not taking, people who pour on into my life. And I understood that I had to find the right people and the right mentors in my life for the different areas that I wanted to grow in, for me to get to that next level. So for me, the change was a whole process. It didn't happen in a month. It took me years to change my mentality. Even now, I'm still growing, and it's still not easy, right? It's still growing, still getting to the next level. We still have problems, but not the same problems as back then. And it's a journey. So the biggest advice I would say is fall in love with the process. Fall in love with the process. So that's what I would say about the change that I had to make. But overall, extremely blessed, extremely happy, and glad that I found my purpose in life. I can remember vividly that I was in my room, right? I was in my room, and I remember my mom walking in. She walked in, and we were sitting in the bed. And prior to that, I had just caught a case. I was facing 99 years in prison. I was fighting that case. I had just came out of jail. I got bonded out, and I remember I was in the room, and my mom walked in, and she says, "Do you she said, "What can I help you with? You know, I love you." So she gave me this. She talked to me, right? She gave me this advice, and I remember her saying, "If you don't change, and if you get locked up, like, I'm not gonna live long." And I remember that hit me really hard. I'm like, damn, I have to change my life, like, because if I don't change, basically, my mom just told me, she's like, if you don't change, I'm gonna suffer. I'm gonna be so sad that I'm not gonna be here long, because I can't watch you be in prison. And I remember that hit me so hard. Even right now, right, I'm still crying. And it was like years ago, right? But I remember that day, I was like, you know what? How am I letting these actions that I'm doing? That made me realize that it was not even about me no more. That it was not about me. That it was about my family. That it was about the actions that I was taking was impacting the people's lives around me, right? With my mom, my dad, my sisters, and I realized that I had to mature. I had to grow up, and I had to become a better man, a better person, not just for myself, but for my family and my future family. And now that I have a baby, it's like I look back and I'm like, the best decision that I ever made was changing my life. But if I can pinpoint exactly the moment that I decided to change completely, I would say it was that moment when my mom told me, if you don't stop and you don't change, I'm gonna die of sadness of seeing you in prison. And she just told me straight up like that, and I remember that day like it was yesterday. And something just clicked. It clicked in my head, and I said, you know what? It's not about me no more. It's about my family and my consequences. What I'm doing, my actions, and the consequences are affecting all my family, not just me. So I don't know about you guys, but personally, my mom is my biggest role model in my life. She's been my mom and my dad. She's gave me all the advice. She's worked 2-3 jobs to take care of 4 kids all the time, and you know, just seeing everything that she's done for us. It's like, why was I still out here doing what I was doing? Instead of trying to do something to give back to her, instead of trying to do something to give back to my family. So honestly, I would say that was a turning point for myself, and from that moment on, I decided that it didn't matter what I had to do to change my life or how long it took. That's what I was gonna do, because she deserved it, because my family deserved it, and if I already did everything that I've done and made them go through everything right that I made them go through, now I was gonna do whatever it takes to make them happy and make them feel proud of me, because I became a whole different person. So from that moment on, I made a decision that I was gonna seek God, that I was gonna stop doing drugs, that I was gonna stop being in gangs, that I was gonna stop everything that was negative for my life, that I was gonna stop. And the rest is history, right? I started going to church. I would go to different churches. Nobody that I knew went to church. I would go on my own, right? I would still go to the gym. I would be working out all the time. I started reading books, personal development books, like to grow my mentality, to have different habits, to learn how to think for myself, to learn how to think about what I want, have goals in life, because I realized that if you don't have a goal in life, you don't have nothing to look forward to, right? So having goals in life and having a better vision and clarity for my life and overall, and I just did it. I did it every single day. It was a big sacrifice, but I can honestly say it was worth it. And you know, I feel pretty confident that I've made my family proud, that I changed my whole life around, even though nobody believed in me. The only person that believed in me was my mom. She was the only person that she was always there. She's like, you can do it, you can change, you can be more in life. And honestly, I'm absolutely grateful for it. And you know, that was my turning point in life. So you have to find your point in life. You don't necessarily have to go through a hard process to realize that. But just honestly, just sit there and really think about your life, because it's not a game. It's gonna keep passing by. 5 years from now, it's gonna be 5 years from now. The only difference is what you did in that time frame. So whether you have kids or you don't have kids or you have a family, it's like, what are you really doing every single day to put them in a better position financially, time? Because more than anything for us, it's not about money no more. It's about time. It's about quality time, right? Being able to see our baby grow up, being able to be there, being able to see him grow up and every single day, me being able to give new experiences to my family, see them travel, see them enjoy different things that they've never seen or never thought that existed. Uh, so it's about really having options and having that freedom and being stress free about time or money. So, and then just having peace within yourself, and just being happy. It just comes down to that, being happy and really having real values in life, and having God in your life, having real values, God in your life, and peace. One word that describes me, I would say happy. I would definitely say happy. That's the word that comes to my mind as soon as you ask me that. One word that describes me is happy. I don't think there's many people that can say, I seen Johnathan that he was sad. I saw Johnathan that he was in a bad mood. I saw Johnathan that he was complaining. I've always been happy. I've always been grateful. And I guess it's just because my mom, she's always instilled in me that, I'm the best, that I can do anything, that I'm really happy, that I'm handsome, that anything I wear, I look good. So I guess she instilled a lot of self-confidence in myself, and just being happy, and I was just having the correct values, and being grateful more than anything, being grateful for what I do have, and so I would say overall just happy in every situation. Obviously, there's going to be situations in life where you can't control that. You might be not happy for a while, but overall, getting over it and not staying stuck in that situation, and then just finding the good about it and being grateful about it. So I would say that's the word that describes me, happiness. And still to the day, it's just I do whatever makes me happy. So find what makes you happy. Yeah, so all of this has been a journey, guys. I've been able to, throughout the journey, 7 years now. It didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen in a year. Everybody's journey is different. It could take you longer. It could take you a lot less. It's just gonna ultimately depend up to you, and your environment, who you're listening to, who are your mentors. But absolutely grateful. Now I'm surrounded by great people. I have an awesome team. I have a beautiful wife, a beautiful baby, and I couldn't ask for more. Absolutely grateful. It's been a journey, but now I'm able to put myself in environments with around different people who I can learn from constantly. I wanted to show you guys. Right, this is right now we're in the Galleria area, but I wanted to show you guys some of the places that we've been able to live in. For example, like the Hanover Boulevard right here, and you have the other Hanover right here. Right, if you're from Houston or if you're into high rises and stuff, you pretty much know what I'm talking about. If not, you can just pretty much type it up, Hanover Boulevard. One of the best experiences that we've experienced in our life in that season, right? When my wife and I were young, growing our business, focused, just absolutely exploding, traveling the world, but now to having our beautiful baby, which is now a new season in our lives, and now being homeowners, now being able to grow a family, it's a different season, so it's a different priority. So with that being said, keep chasing your dreams, keep working. Don't focus on the journey, focus on the end result. Focus on where you're gonna be at, but most importantly, focus on who you're becoming, right? Because the result, all of this wouldn't matter if I didn't change in the inside. So focus on who you're becoming, and ultimately that's gonna lead you to where you wanna be at in life. God bless you, keep winning, let's go.